Yo, welcome back to the How'd I Get Here podcast, the podcast with positivity, progression, and finding your own path. Your co-host, Mr. Brown, Broke, and Guapo. Jake, big head up, 10 toes down. Man, I was tired. I had something slick to say, but I'm going to let it go because I'm putting my petty pants down. That's growth.
I don't know if I could ever take the petty pants off. I wear them under my shit, though. It's your boy Spence, King Aquarius, wealth strategist, coming at you at the collective space here in Windsor, 258 Windsor Ave. Come check it out. It's super dope. If you're an entrepreneur who needs a space to work outside of your house or maybe outside your office if you don't like your colleagues, you can get a 24-hour location with a little online address that you can get things shipped to. It's great. Come check it out. Get a tour.
Come record your podcast.
Come record your podcast. You got a little photo shoot area over there. It's fun. It's a good time. We need more spaces like this in Connecticut.
Big facts.
So, with all that being said, first of all, before my actual question, how we doing today? I feel like it's been a long week. It's only Tuesday.
Bro.
It's been a long week.
You know what is crazy? I'm like renovating my first floor right now, and I'm trying to get as much done before going back to work in 2.5 weeks. Oh. Right? Well, like 2.5, 3 weeks.
Are teachers back yet or no?
Nah, nobody's back.
Nobody's back?
Yeah, nobody's back. And it's like I've lost all train of like day, time. Like I don't know what day of the week it is, what time it is. And it's like I'm not doing all the work. I'm literally doing like the little shit.
Yeah.
But even just like doing that stuff is like draining.
Yeah, I'm not meant for manual labor. I know the physique may say otherwise, but as a house Negro, I read and write well. But I'm excited to see the finished product, especially after hearing
knowing the shit that you
right, after hearing the horror story. First of all, yeah, if you're gonna get a multifamily, first of all, it's a great investment for passive income, but you have to be very strategic and mindful of who you rent to because not everyone has the same cleanliness as you.
And people don't care when shit's not theirs.
That's a fact.
Like,
I know, like, every rental car I've ever gotten, I've beaten the shit out of. Like, I rev the shit out of the engine. Like, I'm blowing for no reason. I found out last week that apparently I drive fast. This is what my friends tell me.
vroom, vroom.
Everybody go. Oh, no, it's a different one. Pshum, everybody gonna die. No, Kevin Hart. All right, so my question for today is... hypothetically speaking, right, as a parent, what's so funny?
That is to say, hypothetically speaking, if you're in the car when your friends start arguing, are you going to pull out a gun?
Hey, yo, shout out Meg.
Hey, yo, the male horse.
First of all, you can't play her like that.
That is legit her name, Meg the male horse.
Bro, but only like people like you are gonna point that out. Like we know why we call that. Like she looked like a stallion. The legs,
but
you
could have.
What's a female horse called?
A pony? I don't know.
That's a baby horse.
Oh, well, I don't know. She didn't have to be called a male horse.
What would you feel better as?
I understand that it's like an olden saying and it goes back in time. But I get it. But like, I respect women too much, and I think they should not be referred to as boy horses.
That was. I'm gonna slide past that.
I do respect women.
Yeah, we know. Do they deserve? Never mind. Let's slide past it. So my question of the day, right? Hypothetically speaking, as a parent, if and when that were to happen for you, what would be your ideal career path for your child?
My ideal, like I'm picking their
like what would like if you could choose anything for your child, like they would be successful and excel at this thing, what would it be?
For me, it would have to be something that allows them to travel and expand, like expand their life, their culture, their knowledge. You know what I mean? If it really came down to it, I would love for my kids to be a more successful athlete than I was. Or,
okay.
You know what I mean? But that's just if I really had to pick. but something that allowed my kids to travel and really experience life, whatever that looks like.
I like that. I was going to say, what if you had a daughter? And then my next thought was like, yo, the U.S. women's team got kicked.
Yeah, I think the team got undercoached, but their coach got outcoached in every game.
Really?
Like, yes, the women's team underperformed immensely, but I don't think it was like the players' fault. And the thing about the team, they're in a place right now where like a lot of the old players are coming out and the new players are coming in, so it's that weird like,
yeah,
you know,
passing the baton. Yo, because shorty with the purple hair, I don't even know her name, but
Meg Rapinoe.
She's been on the team forever. She's like pushing 40 and still on the team, like doing work.
You know what I mean? But it's like she's nasty, but she's not as good as she used to be. And it's one of those things like, out of respect, like, we're going to play you, but like, should you be starting? Should you be coming off the bench? Like, what really is your role?
I heard she comes in like the last 20 minutes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
this is what I got for you.
You know, so it's like,
I respect that.
One of those things of what is your role? Are you going to be a Derrick Rose where you're kind of just riding the bench and you're a mentor for the younger players?
I haven't heard his full name in a while. Oh, yeah. D Rose.
But he could still ball.
Yeah.
He could give buckets on a lot. Send him to Orlando, Charlotte, Detroit.
Shout out D Rose, but you also said some wild shit on the podcast, bro. He was talking like,
what did he say?
I don't want to repeat it, but he was just sharing his mind a little too much about like the shit him and his boys used to get into and like allegations and shit. I'm like, yo, I don't know. I think you got to remember, like, this podcast could be seen or heard anywhere, and you are
careful what you say,
yeah,
brother.
you're kind of a symbol. Yeah, no, I like that. I think mine would definitely be something business related. I think everyone should be more educated in the finance space, but like as long as it's something, you know, in business that's fulfilling and gives them literally everything you said, all the opportunities to do that, travel, explore the world, see what other see what other life is out there, see what other opportunities that they could afford themselves, I'd be happy. If they want to someday take my practice from me, you know, like in my 60s, I'd love to pass that down. I just feel like I'm going to put so much work into it, and it's like, I don't want it to just like go to the wayside.
So, interesting you say that, right? Would you want to pass it down? Because obviously your legacy is continuing, right? But then where does their story and their legacy begin? Yeah,
so I guess, I mean, we've talked about this, like I'm going to have a lot of kids. So if one of them, you know what I'm saying, he took my idea. Now I got to get 24. But yeah, I mean, if one of them wants to be a financial advisor, it's like, you have to build that yourself. Like, right. I can mentor you. I could give you like what to do, but you have to do it. Like, it's a lot of work. So knowing everything that I've put into it, like over the next 30, 40 years, like I wouldn't want my practice just to phase out and go to some random person. Like if I could keep that in the family, right. That's important. And you know, by that point, they should already have a substantial practice. So now you're just adding on to it.
Right. Now you're just picking up and just carrying.
Yeah, like now we just doubled it.
Facts.
And then hopefully, you know, keep that going. Generational wealth is very important, especially in the urban community.
Something they don't teach you about in school, but they should.
Right. That should be an extracurricular class, generational wealth.
Bro, we need to get an educator on here. Or maybe like two with opposing views and talk about the school system.
I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the video I just watched, but like, I don't know why when you said opposing views, I thought of race. Like my first thought was like, maybe someone from like a prep school, a white person, and someone from an inner city school.
No, but like, actually, I bet you if I grab, and I could be totally wrong, I don't really know a lot of teachers in Yeehaw. Yeah. But if I grabbed a teacher from West Hartford, right, and then grabbed a teacher from Hartford, I wonder if they would share the same sentiments about the public school system.
I just feel like what opposing views can you have being an educator? Like your job is to educate.
Your job is to educate, but in Hartford, a lot of the times they don't have the resources. A lot of the times they want to, like, bro, I was talking to my principal a couple weeks ago, and I was like, yo, what do I have to do to take the kids on a field trip, right? And she was like, well, you should start off with stuff that's free. And I was like, well, what do you mean? She was like, well, we don't have a big budget for it. So a lot of the times, like, they have to pay for the first thing before you even get anywhere, the bus.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
The
so
transportation, that's not cheap.
And that's not cheap. So they were like, sometimes we ask the kids to pay like $5 to $10 and the school covers the rest. Well, if I'm taking 15 kids somewhere and they're all given $10, it's $150. How much is this bus, right? Then we got to talk about food, right? So now I'm probably,
you have to have lunch.
I got to feed them.
Yeah.
So now we're probably just giving them the same shitty lunch that they eat in the building. Or even worse, they're just getting peanut butter jelly sandwiches because they went on a field trip.
Ain't nothing wrong with a PB&J if it's well made.
That, it's not well
Proportions got to be right.
and then from there, it's like, all right, well, where are we taking them? You know what I mean? Like, is it affordable and things like that? And again, I don't know. I could be speaking very like out of pocket, but I'm sure there are school systems that say, hey, I want to take our kids fill in the blank. And it's like, all right, let's go.
So that was my experience in high school. Like going to Classical Magnet. Shout out Tim Sullivan. He's now the superintendent of Craig Schools.
Is he a bald black dude?
No, he's a big white man. He used to be the football coach at Weaver. He was a principal at my school, and yeah, he's the superintendent of Craig Schools now. But I will say, like, we were spoiled. 2 or 3 times a year, we went to Hartford Stage to watch plays. And it was like their dress rehearsal type thing. So like they would fill out the entire place. We would watch that. Throughout my entire high school career, 2 or 3 times a year, we went to different college campuses. I think we had to have gone on 5 field trips a year at least.
Went to New York a lot.
Yeah.
Like that was a known thing when I was in middle school.
So, this was middle school and high school. So but I also know, I don't know what he was doing. Like, he's a very smart person.
Again, there could be a lot of things happening behind closed doors.
Because, once he left, I heard the budget went to shit.
Exactly. But again, I would love to just get those people in the same room and just be like, yo, what are y'all's experiences? Because, bro, Hartford Public Schools, I say this now, sucks. Superintendent, she's trash.
Yeah, I'm not about to get into, like, I don't want to shit on Hartford Public Schools, but I definitely learned some things about, like, the graduation rate and, like, how it got skyrocketed and how it's actually been detrimental to kids. Shout out y'all. It helped me 12 years ago, 13 years ago, but...
Yeah. I don't know.
You actually just sparked something. I now want to, like, sponsor a field trip. Like, I want to see how much that would cost and, like, sponsor a field trips for some kids. That's going to be meaningful. But, like, I'm curious how much that costs. Like, are we talking, like, $1,000? Are we talking $2,000? Does it have to be, like, liability insurance? Like,
well, it depends where you're going, what you're doing. Because I told them, because she said something free. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I'd take them on a hike because that's therapeutic. You know, hiking's free.
Yeah.
We would literally just have to pay for the bus and the food.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, that's a great idea. And I'm like, interesting.
But also, I feel like you would have to have, like, and I don't know, I feel like you work at a specific school where, like, chaperones for, like, people's parents might not be as willing to go. But, like, you also have to, like, how many chaperones do you need per kid?
1 for every 10 kids.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, like, last year, our math teacher took, I think it was like 10 or 12 kids golfing every Thursday for the last 6 Thursdays of the school year.
Tell me about that.
And we won't get into that, but to each its own.
I respect it. Or like, you remember, was it Bridges? Did you ever do that in, like, high school? Or, I don't know, there was like Camp Anytown and shit like that. You ever heard of these things? No. My school was different. I don't know. I feel like my high school just gave us so many different opportunities to learn about the world that other Hartford schools did not. So I feel extremely grateful for that.
Facts. Well, yeah, we went off on a tangent, but
Shout out Hartford Public.
Facts. I never thought that I would be passionate about school system or kids, but here we are.
Fuck these kids.
All of them. But so today's episode, and you brought up the point about like your kid's future, right? So today's episode, we're gonna hit on accepting reality, right? And 2 points that I would like to make is like this podcast is simply mine and Spencer's experiences.
Facts.
Right? So there's no right, there's no wrong. There's a lot of people that like contrast with what we say, primarily Spencer, or whatever the case is. But it's like we literally have these conversations just to make y'all think. And it's not to say like, granted, I know Spencer is heavy in his beliefs, but just because he believes it doesn't mean like.
Nah, it's true.
He's
it's facts.
He's 100% right. This is what it is, and that's it.
Right.
You know, and
because
same
it's my
goes
experience.
It was true for him,
right?
And it worked for him. That doesn't mean it's going to work for you, but you can learn something, whether it's good, bad, ugly, from our stories. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, Spencer went through this. I went through that, so here's how I change it. Or Jacob went through this. I don't want to go through that, so here's how I maneuver, right? Perspective's very important.
And if you oppose our view, like, this is an open platform where you could come on anytime and talk your shit. Whether it's on a post, whether if you want to hop on an episode. Like, I want all the smoke, like, good and bad. Because I've been humbled a few times.
Facts.
So.
Facts. So, and then the second point was like when you said picking your kid's like job, right? Let's start there. How do you accept something that is different from what you want for your life?
For my life or for my kid?
Well, what made me think about that was like, say I wanted my kid to be a soccer player, but they came and said, Dad, I want to be a scientist, right? Take me, for example.
Yeah.
I wanted to play soccer, and I wanted this big contract, and I got contracts, small ones, right? But I never got that big, frugal, I'm looking for a word, whatever.
Frugal's not the word.
No, it's not. Okay. It's on my tongue, but I can't say it, but yeah. That big contract, you know what I mean? So it's like, how do you accept, all right, this is not what I wanted, but this is the hand I've dealt.
I'll be honest with you, the only thing I want for my kids, not being a parent, like this may change when I have them. Like I might really join the fuck them kids, like corporation. But I just want them to be happy. Honestly, I want them to be happy. I want them to be well off. I want them to be successful, whatever that looks like. But I don't really want much. I don't like putting, I don't like putting expectations on things because like when I just know 9 times out of 10 when people overhype something, like I feel awkward because you're really excited and passionate about it, and I just know 9 times out of 10 I'm not gonna feel that way.
Facts.
But like that's okay. Like that's your experience. That's how you feel about it. But yeah, as long as my kids are happy.
So what about for you? How do you feel how do you accept something that is not what you wanted?
How do I accept?
Hopefully not by making that fucking noise.
So I've been meditating every day lately. That's been my jam. So like, and it's a drastic difference of like my mindset. Like if I meditate every morning for 10 minutes, I throw on like this meditation music on Spotify. Literally just close my eyes and just like try to quiet my brain and like focus on certain things. But I don't know. I've been way more open to just accepting life for what it is as opposed to what I want it to be. Because I say it all the time, but it's almost like I stopped believing it. Like life works for you, not against you. You just have to get on the right side of it. So, I think it's easier to accept things as it like, for example, like if I talk to friends and I'm telling them my situation and what's going on, they're immediately, like, they feel, their empathy starts kicking in, like, oh my gosh, like, I feel this, like, I can't believe you're going through this, blah, 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 and I'm just like, the fact of the matter is I am, and like I'm going to have to continue going through this until I'm done. Like Steve Harvey said, "Why, if you're going through hell, why stop?"
Fact.
So, yeah, kind of just I don't know. It kind of just is what it is. You go through.
You made me think of something, right? So when I went to DC, I had stopped in Virginia for a day to visit my homeboy Aaron, right? One of my old teammates. Was good, bro.
Hey, Ron.
And that's really what I call him. But it was me, him, his fiance, and her homegirl at the end of the night sitting. Nah, like that.
She not cold?
Huh?
Oh, I was like, she cold? You were like, no.
No. It wasn't like that. But we were having a conversation, right, about, and I forgot how she called it.
Yeah.
But she was like a philosophy major or something like that, right? The friend, right? And I asked her, I was like, do you think life is like predetermined or do you have free will?
Yeah.
And it was free will versus predetermination. And she was like, oh, don't tell me you're a free willist or something. She called it, and I was just like, that's a thing?
First of all, don't answer my question by accusation.
Right. And we got into the conversation, and your statement of just like life is working for you, not against you. You just got to get with it. Made me think about that conversation, because in life, you can make changes, but you just have to accept what's happening. Or do you have to accept what's happening?
I think it's better. Like, you have to accept what's happening in front of you, but it doesn't have to continue to be like what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, this doesn't have to be your end destination. It's like, yes, I'm in a shitty situation right now. I'm accepting that, but I'm also understanding that I could get out. Like, what is this situation teaching me? Right? Like, I'm sure there's something in this situation that, I was literally just talking about this to someone the other day. It's like, when you go through tough times, yeah, it sucks, but if you go through that same tough time again and you don't know how to get through it quicker, like, that's a shame on you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you continue going through these same things, like, one, why is it repeating itself? But also, why aren't you getting better at fixing it? Like, if you keep coming across the same problem, like, why can't you fix it sooner?
I literally just told my homegirl this week, she was like going through some fuck shit or whatever, and no matter how many times, like, I'm gonna love you and support you, but I told her, I was
it's
like,
the 10th nigga. No,
low key.
Hey, yeah.
But I was telling her, I was like, bro, the universe is going to continue to put you through the same shit until you decide to learn the lesson or make a change.
That part.
You know what I mean? It's like, I can coddle you and hold your hand through this, but until you learn, like, all right, bro, there's a cycle here.
Yeah.
You're never gonna break out of that cycle. And that's part of that is accepting, okay, this is what's happening.
Right.
This is what I'm doing to contribute. And I think a lot of people lack accountability.
Yeah, because people want to put the blame on on anything else but, like, looking in the mirror like, oh, shit, I got myself to this situation. No matter what, like, no one else put me in this situation. Like, maybe people contributed, but at the end of the day, like, my own free will put me in this situation, so I have to take accountability for it.
So how much is, when a situation is happening, how much of a situation is your fault?
I don't like playing the blame game, like fault. I just think I would say my responsibility, I would say, 100%, because even if it's bad, how I react to it is my responsibility. So, like, it's kind of like when they say be the bigger person, when people are like talking shit, it's like how I respond. Like, you may be like going sick, wild, disrespectful, but how I respond is 100% up to me and my character and like how I want to be perceived to the world. So, yeah, I think, it's easier said than done.
Right.
100%, I think.
Motherfuckers trigger.
Like, I listened to a podcast the other day, and he was saying that success is not a destination, you attract success. So by working on yourself and he was like, yeah, I was working for someone and I really started working on my job and like I couldn't get past a certain part. And then I was just like, fuck this. I started working on myself, like 10 things a day that he just held himself accountable to. And he's like, and I just started attracting success. Like, I didn't know what success meant, but like different doors started opening for me because I started working on myself. So I think it all comes down to just us, and the people who make the more excuses typically tend to stay in the same place that I've noticed.
Word. Why?
Me.
Why do people struggle with this acceptance? And I think you hit on it in the sense of accountability, right?
It's uncomfortable.
What do you mean?
Like, because to sit with yourself and just be like, yo, like, I'm a financial advisor. So to sit with yourself as an example, like, damn, I'm bad with money. Like, I'm not good at budgeting. Like, if I'm sitting with someone and like I see it click in their head when I'm talking to them about like the basic things they should be doing, they'll be like, damn, this whole time I thought I was good. I'm really not. And it's like, it's a hit to the ego. It's a hit to the pride. It's a hit to like everything that you've been taught. Because a lot of times, you know, people have been taught by their elders or like their family members, so they don't necessarily know if it's wrong or right. It just is because so-and-so did it. Like, how many people do you know do things just because their older brother did it?
Bruh.
And it's just like, you never took the time like, well, why did they do it? Oh, because someone else said to do it that way. Well, what's the right way? If there is a right way.
And I think the issue with, bro, because if you think about it, life is not that old. Like, and what I mean by that is like, my grandparents passed away in their 80s, right? So they'd be like late 80s
so
right
life's
now.
not that long, you mean?
Well, no, it's not that old. Like, they're in their 80s. They were in their 80s, and then my two grandparents that are left are also in their 80s now. You get what I'm saying? So when you think about everything that they've gone through, right? Mm-hmm. Their parents probably weren't that far removed from slavery or other like, you know what I mean? So life is not that old. So there's only really 3 or 4 generations before us that did something. Now look at how fast things have evolved since those generations. So to your point, we have family members that just do shit. Right? Because that's how it was done. Whereas us, we're the generation that questions things.
Right. Well, again, so yeah, to your point, like, especially people of color, like the survival tactic that like is their everyday being is just so detrimental. But it's like, we just accept, as people of color, like we just accept certain things because like, well, my parents never bought a house. My parents never did this. So it's like, I'm automatically doing better than them. But it's like, I'm not to knock that, but it's like you could also be doing so much more because you set such a low standard for yourself. Yeah, you hit it, but like once you hit it, like then what? Right. And it's just the constant work.
And to your point about like why we struggle with acceptance is like people don't know anything other than mediocrity, right? Like
middle class mindsets.
They might see greatness. You might see the LeBron James, the Jeff Bezos, the like successful people, and those are just 2 people that came to mind, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously define success how you want, but you might see that, but you don't really know what it took to get there. And when I think it might take this, well, like you said, it's uncomfortable, and I struggle with acceptance because now I have to look myself in the mirror and I have to say, yo, you're not really doing enough, or you're not doing the right thing, or you need to make a change.
Yeah. It's also tough, too, because naturally you're surrounded by mediocre people. I can't say it a better way. Like, you're surrounded by, like, mediocre people based on your demographics. So it's like, you know, it's tough to know what's possible because a lot of times you have to be the one that stands out and it's just like, oh, listen, what you've been doing isn't working. What you've been doing isn't working. I guess, like, I'm going to pull a 24-hour, just, like, work 24 hours straight and see what happens. And, like, or kind of like what Kobe did. You know, I love me some Kobe. He's just like, yo, if y'all are practicing 3 times a day, I'm going to practice 4 to 5 times a day. And I'm going to make sure that I eat and, like, rest my body accordingly. But I don't know. I feel like it's just like a broken record. Like, if you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. But it's like, if you're looking around and you're really paying attention, like, if you really paid attention to the people you surround yourself with, who the people you look up to, the mentors you put in your place, if you have any, it's like you really have to pay attention. Like, what are they doing that's substantially different that's going to help me get to where I want to go? And if they're not falling within that that parameter, then you might need to switch your circle that you ride with.
Are you good at I feel like this this episode's weird because I feel like I'm like almost like interviewing you. Like the transitions are a little weird, but
yeah, I don't got any questions for you yet.
No, it's okay. Where are you good at giving forgiveness to yourself and to other people?
Ooh, that's a great question. It's way easier for me to forgive other people than to show myself gratitude. So I've been working on that lately. I've been showing showing myself grace. Because I put so much pressure on myself, I'm realizing that some of it may not be realistic during the timeline that I see it for myself. So I stopped putting timelines on things, and I really just started working and like, hey, this is my goal, and I'm gonna see how long it takes to get there. And I give myself grace some days. Like some days I used to beat myself up because I'm like, damn, I was supposed to do A through Z and I stopped at M because I was tired. I'm slacking. But then I'm just like, nah, I still accomplished all of this. Like all in all, I had a great day. Maybe I packed too much into this day, and maybe I need to spread it out and like allocate it differently. So yeah, to answer your question, it's way easier for me to forgive others than to forgive myself. But I have been working on that.
I think, speaking from experience, and people have told me this is an ego thing, which I don't really agree with. But when somebody does something, you've shown me who you are. You know what I mean? At this old age of 30, most of my friends are 28, 29 and older. Like, there's a couple folks younger or whatever, and like, I'm definitely not the same person.
Yes, we're looking at you, Ash.
Ash McAsh.
She's still mad.
I told you that Meg comment got her hot. She called herself the man horse.
No, but you called her a centaur. Like, that's offensive.
No, I called her Meg the male horse. That is what her name translates to.
Listen, I've been going through a lot when it comes to like celebrity crushes. I just found out Halle Bailey's like 23.
You didn't know that?
Nah.
Does that change things?
Yes, drastically. She's 23 years old.
I mean, she still, was that 8 years for you?
Yeah.
My parents are 8 years apart.
But when did they meet? In like 30s?
Like, nah, my mom's was in her like young 20s.
Oh, your dad different.
Oh.
Says sex.
But what was I saying? At this age,
yeah,
you've shown me who you are, right? And like,
okay, keep going.
It's one of those things that like, part of forgiveness, right, is accepting what you did and like letting go and just moving on with it, right? But I struggle with like, nah, my nigga, you did this. Like, you've showed me your true colors, especially because I'm such a loyal person. It's like, I could never do that to you, and you just did me that way. And you can't expect from others what you expect from yourself, right? But it's like, once you show me your colors, like, you know, I could maybe be around you. I could maybe be cordial with you, but I don't know if I'm ever going to be as cool with you. And maybe that's a sign that I need to work on forgiveness and just letting shit go. Because I do hold grudges, for sure. I ain't going to hold you. I'll hold a grudge, and I'm so good at doing shit by myself. It's like, motherfucker, I don't need you.
Facts.
Anyone that's in my life is there because I want you there.
As it should be.
You know what I mean? So it's like, forgiveness, when it comes to other people, I struggle with forgiveness. And that, to tie it into the conversation, is like, accepting what they did and accepting like people are human and just like moving on from it. You know what I mean?
So,
because I'm not perfect.
That's a fact. And I mean, I'm the same way. I purposely like give people I purposely give people the opportunity that they don't even realize I'm giving them to show me their true colors, because like I say shit so out of pocket, like you have to give me a natural reaction. But so now I have a question for you. So of all the people in your life, think of the age range from 26 up until whenever in your 80s. How many people, and maybe counting on two hands if possible, if one hand, how many people do you know that actually know themselves, who actually know who they are and what they're about?
I think, and it's funny because I'm thinking about one motherfucker specific too, and I hope they see this.
Hey, they from the Bronx. No, we're done with the Bronx.
I think it's a lot of motherfuckers that think they know who they are, right? And they haven't faced a lot of their trauma and a lot of their issues, and they haven't accepted that. So they put on this facade that I'm this, that, the third to make themselves feel better. But in reality, it's like, bro, or sis, I don't want to point no elbows, or but it's like, bro, you're not even at peace with yourself. You get what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people have not accepted their realities, accepted their faults, accepted their failures, accepted where they are in life. And that means they try to do shit to compensate for that. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, bro, nah, you really don't know who you are. Like, where are your morals? Where are your values? Like, what are you really standing on?
Right.
You know, and I think it's a lot of people.
You're saying a lot of people's foundations are shaky.
Facts.
He's like, at a race store, man, you gonna look like my side door.
Hey, I got a new one, bro.
Did you?
I did.
No, that's a fact, because I mean, you and I both do the same thing. Like, I read people for a living, but I also do it like for fun. And you can tell. I think you can just tell immediately someone who just knows what they bring to the table, like knows who they are, or knows that they're a work in progress. But
that's the biggest part.
Yeah, and like, in knowing you're a work in progress, like, well, listen, I'm a work in progress, but this is what I bring to the table.
Right.
Like, this is what I actually do well, but there's also a lot of things that I need to work on as well.
And that's that accountability that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I think a big part of accepting reality is knowing who you are and like holding yourself accountable. I can do this. I can't do that. This is my fault. That's okay.
Oh, so this is funny. This is a transparency moment. This is what I struggle with, right? Because I don't like giving someone the opportunity to hold me accountable, but I also feel like I need it sometimes. Like, how do you feel about accountability? Are you better holding yourself accountable, or do you prefer to give someone else that power to hold you accountable?
So when I was playing soccer, I did a much, much better job at holding myself accountable.
Well, you have a team of like...
Well, no, but I mean like when I was training,
okay.
You know, things like the extra stuff.
Because you had a goal. Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, I don't feel like going to the gym, or I don't feel like doing, like, I've given myself leeway. And one thing that I think I've gotten better at, but I definitely know I still have a long way to go, is when somebody tries to check me, or like, nah, Jake, you were wrong. Yeah. Or not, and there's times like my first...
Yeah, your defense mechanism quick.
Facts. My first, nah, but you know what I mean? Or try to clap back when in reality it's like, nah, this person's coming from love. Like, just hear what they have to say type shit.
But
whether you agree or disagree, or you might be able to pick something out of that whole thing that they said. Yeah. But I do struggle sometimes, and I know motherfuckers gonna see this like, yeah, nigga, we've been trying to tell you. We're trying to tell you.
No, that was your best episode yet, nigga.
You and Spencer. But no, I definitely do struggle sometimes when people try to tell me about myself, and I'm just like, nah, bro, I ain't trying to hear that.
Yeah, it like... because I hate being micromanaged, because it's like, yo, listen. So I set a task list of like the things I want to get done in a day, right? And like I've shared it with people, and so they have access to it, so they can see like when I'm getting things done and when I'm not. But it's like I get irked when I get checked in the middle of the day because like my day could go anywhere.
Facts.
But like I hate when I get checked in the middle of the day, like, oh, so like you haven't done this yet. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, no shit.
But I did do all this.
Yeah, right. Like, check me at 9 o'clock.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, so that I struggle. And like, I think part of me is like, I need to hold myself accountable with certain things. But it's also like, it's unrealistic to say that I can hold myself accountable everywhere. Like, you know, like therapy, for example. Like, yeah, I love diving into my own mental health, but I'm sure there's a professional somewhere out there who could like help me navigate that as well. Same with like nutrition, the gym. Like, it's good to employ people, friends, family, whoever, to like, or professionals to do this, but it's like, damn, do I really want to get checked? Like, I don't mind getting checked, but like, check me at the right time. You know what I'm saying?
Time and place. Bro.
Right.
I used to tell my ex all the time, and I hope nobody takes this as bashing nobody because I'm just telling a true story.
All your exes get better.
But time and place is very important. You know what I mean? Like, yes, how you deliver this is equally important, but that doesn't matter if I'm still upset or we just argued and you trying to check me right now because guess what, motherfucker? I'm still defending myself.
Right, like, I'm still hot.
Right, but if you wait till later or tomorrow, like, hey, babe, blah, 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 whatever, time and place. Like, we still at the crime scene, and you still trying to be, yo, Jacob, you know what you did was wrong? No, motherfucker, what I did was right, and I'm going to tell you why.
Yo, my biggest pet peeve, if you're like a partner, and like this hasn't happened in years, I will say this was the Virgo, but like, bro, don't argue with me while I'm at work. Like, that is like the most triggering thing. Like, I don't give a fuck what we argued about this morning, last night. Like, talk to me after work. Like, arguing with me at work is like, oh man, that shit irks the shit out of me. Like,
so, bro, I got shit to do.
Yeah, like, I actually have responsibilities. So now it's like you're taking away from my bag and my mental health. Now I hate you. No, but it's no, it's real.
Are there people in this world that you hate?
That I hate? Nah, that's way too much energy. There's people who I just like energetically I can't be around because it's just like we don't mesh. You might be a good person to somebody, but to me, or like I just don't want to be around you. And like I can't help that. My boy Kevin, he's got such a wide net of friends, and like to me, I used to tell him, I'm like, bro, this person's a piece of shit. Like, I don't know why you're cool with them. Like, they're literally using you. And lo and behold, like after time, it comes out like, oh man, this motherfucker been using me this whole time. Or like this person like is going to eventually leave you high and dry, and this person leaves you high and dry. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like I pick up on negative energy, and like if it isn't reciprocal, like,
facts,
I can't be around. I don't hate you. I just don't care for you. Like, I probably don't think about you.
So there's, and this is gonna be crazy how this ties together, or at least to me it is. Yeah. There's probably like a couple people
that you hate,
that I hate, that I actually wish negative on. You know, and that's not healthy because like
you, an Eagles fan.
Yes, yes. I don't wish anything positive on that human being at all, right? But like you said, that's negative energy that is, right? Yeah. And I need to just accept what happened, right? It is what it is, and heal from it. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like part about accepting reality is a lot of people don't heal from shit that has happened to them.
Yeah, like if someone shows you their true colors, like you shouldn't be mad at them. It's like, all right, thank you. Like,
but that goes to what I think you were saying this earlier about expectations.
Yeah,
like
I don't set expectations,
bro. And there's this. This is one of the interviews that really got me like into podcasting. Was the Combat Jack interview with J. Cole, right? And I know I've referenced this podcast, this episode on our podcast multiple times, right? But he talks about, it was around 2014, Forest Hills Drive is the first interview he did when the album dropped, right? And he talks about acceptance. And he says acceptance is the root of all evil, right? Because if I marry you, right, I expect that we're gonna get married, we're gonna buy a house, we're gonna have kids, we're gonna spend our whole life.
Expectation is the root of all evil.
What did I say?
Acceptance.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Expectation is the root of all evil.
I was like,
no, my bad. Expectation is the root of all evil because I expect we're gonna get married. I expect that we're going to have kids, buy a house, and live for the rest of our lives together, right? But now if we don't, my expectations weren't met. Now does that mean I failed? Now does that mean, this didn't, I'm a bad person? I expected something, and now I need to face and accept this new reality.
Because you're never going to live up to someone else's expectations.
There you go. And the way he breaks it down, he goes into way more depth of it or whatever. But expectations are the root of all evil.
That's a fact. Yeah, I just, like, when people ask me, it's like, is that good? Is it bad? I'm like, I don't know. It just is. Like, I don't know. It happened. Like,
and I think a good thing about me and a bad thing about me is I don't give a fuck about what people think about me.
Word.
You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes it's like, bro, you could probably use a little bit of filter and a little bit of chill, but I don't. You know what I mean? It's because kind of like similar to what you just said, like, it just is. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, this is, like, it is what it is. And I might have my one day pity party. I always say no 2 bad days in a row, right? Because you have that one day to accept what is, and then the next day to get the fuck over it.
I mean, there's always you can always, nothing can be over polished,
What do you mean?
Like things can be as they are, but it's like you can add like some finesse and some polish to things. Right. You know what I'm saying? You can smooth out the rough edges.
Facts. No, I feel you on that. And go ahead.
I'm just thinking, like, I feel like modern day relationships don't last very long because of, especially social media and like celebrities, like the amount of expectations people put on a fictional partner that's probably never coming around is like nuts to me. Because, and I've mentioned this before, so I don't want to go down like the shitting on relationships thing, but it's just like, I don't know, like every day I'm on social media, primarily Facebook, I just see people reposting and talking about the most ridiculous shit that they expect from a relationship, where it's like, you can't do that on your own. So like,
and you can't do that for your partner.
That's what I'm saying.
So, bro, I feel you.
It's just, I be so like, a part of me wants to, one day I'm gonna have like, oh, I got time today type shit, and I'm really gonna like spend time and just start clapping back on these posts.
Spencer about to have no friends on his social media.
Yo, facts. Or the ones who resonate with me, like, they're gonna add me, because like at this point I'm just trying to get in where I fit in, and not everyone. I just don't fit in with everyone. I'm okay with that.
Facts.
Mildly okay.
What do you feel about? So I feel like a big part of accepting your reality are boundaries. And I think that boundaries that you set for people, boundaries that people set for you, you know what I mean? And respecting yourself, because sometimes you have to, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to deprive someone of your presence as a boundary to keep your peace. And you might love that person or really want to be around that person, but you have to accept this person is not good for me. Or this job, because I don't want to feel like we're just talking about relationships, right? It could be a person, a job, a habit, whatever. You have to accept, it's time to move on. So sometimes like setting boundaries is hard, but it's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, in regards to people or pretty much anything, like, it really ain't nothing to cut that bitch off. If it's just, I don't know, I just have a strong intuition when it comes to certain things. I'm like, this isn't meant for me. Like, there might be something I could get from it, but
how do you accept that? Because, like, bro, I feel you, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of times people don't listen to that intuition or their gut. So how do you accept, like, this is not for me?
How do I accept it?
Yeah, because, like, that's reality. Like, I feel like that is the point of this. How do people come to grips with, you know what, this situation, this person, this thing is not for me.
Because for me personally, I have such high ambitions for myself that if you're not going to be able to keep up, add to it, like sustain your own things or like help, it's an immediate. No, it's done.
Is that ego talking? Because I said the same thing once. Someone was like, "Oh, you have such a big ego."
It's not an ego. I have fucking self-respect. Like, I have a purpose. I like that. I have things that I'm looking to accomplish, and because your mental state can't wrap your head around my purpose, that's not my fault to explain it to you. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Do you? Ooh, how do I word this in a way? Because if I say it like that, I know you're gonna say no. Is there ever a necessary time that you owe somebody an explanation?
I am one person. I do believe in closure in certain times. Owe them an explanation. Yeah, I'm always willing to have a dialogue because I think talking about things is powerful. I don't like when people get offended by shit but didn't take the time to educate that person or at least point them in the right direction to educate themselves. Right. It's like, they're ignorant, but it's not always their fault. Like, they could be ignorant because things have been passed down now. Like, shit. Like, if you just haven't seen the video that happened in Alabama, like, I don't know what to tell you. That's nuts. But it's like, yeah, like, I have no problem having a dialogue most of the time. Like, if you really want to know why I don't fuck with you, like, let me count the ways. 1,000, 2,000, I'll do that. Or, like, why I needed to separate myself. Or, like, why I feel like maybe I'm holding you back. And, like, because for some reason you are so hung up on something that you think I bring to the table. Like, I bring one thing to the table, but there's so many other things that you could also get from someone who's willing to give it to you, right? I have no problem having a dialogue, but sometimes it's just like, I don't know you well enough that you deserve a dialogue. It's just like, I don't want to be around you. Your presence disrupts my spirit, and I don't know what else to tell you other than I think you're a shitty person. My spirit thinks you're a shitty person. So, like, until you prove differently, like, I'm just going to trust it.
I did not expect that answer because I would have thought I would have been the one to have that answer because I, too, agree that a dialogue is necessary. But once I've accepted something, once I've come to a realization, that is my truth. It might not be right, but that is my truth about this situation. And a dialogue is necessary, yes. Yeah. But there's times that I'm just like, bro, I don't feel like I need to have this conversation with you.
Again. Like,
I don't like,
period.
Like, bro, you and I went at it, or you did something I don't like. Like, you could do something that I didn't like. Whether you know it or not, I didn't like that shit, so you know what? I don't need to talk to you.
I'm just going to separate myself.
Exactly.
I guess it depends on, like, how important the person is to you. Like, if you are just like a coworker, a colleague, like an acquaintance or a friend of a friend, like, cool. But I guess if, like, you're important to me or were once important to me, yeah, dialogue can be had. But other than that, it's just like, it's kind of like, you know what you did. Like,
no, and sometimes they don't know what they did. But for me, it's like, again, bro,
you don't need to be the one to educate them.
I don't have the time to. Like you, again, and this ties back to what you said earlier, how many people are really aware of themselves? Like, if you didn't know what you did, you just out here doing shit and not knowing what you did, why you did it, and who it could affect.
There's so many people like that.
Exactly, and I'm not the one to sit here and fucking, unless you're hurting somebody that I care about and I got to come, like, check you. Like, if you just irked me, all right, bro. Like, you got it, bro.
We should make a stamp that says seek therapy and just start stamping folks.
I think somebody got that.
For real?
I think there's that nigga out here is like Meeswood or some shit. No, he's like successful out here. I don't know.
Maurice Eastwood?
But his Instagram, I'm sure, is M Eastwood. So I just
Okay, I didn't know. I thought you blended his name together.
No, like I think his Instagram is legit.
M. Eastwood.
So that would say Meastwood.
Got it. I thought you knew his name and blended it by accident.
Oh, no. I've never met the guy. I don't know him. But I'm pretty sure he advertises like seek therapy. I've seen that on social media.
Yeah, he's been doing therapy at the park at like Elizabeth Park. But I'm saying like, because really that's what it is. Like I realized not enough people have genuine friendships and connections around them to check them. And sometimes they just need therapy.
Facts. Actual factual. Samuel
Jackson.
Well, shit. I mean, boy's been chopping it up for like an hour. Facts. This was smooth. I like this shit.
Right? We didn't have no liquor.
I could have changed that. But yeah, it's my daddy's birthday.
Daddy?
That was weird. It's my dad's birthday. Can we bleep that out?
Nah.
Oh.
We gonna live with that.
Yeah, that was awkward. It's my father's birthday. He is 65 for anyone that knows him. He does not look 65.
Wow. Does he have a 401k?
I don't know.
You have to start taking RMD soon. Got 7 years, baby.
He's gonna retire soon and shit.
Word. So, shit. 15 seconds of fame and wrap it up.
You should always wrap it up.
That was actually, I was gonna segue and be like, you know what? 15 seconds of fame, wrap it up, fellas. Because we're past the time of Aquarius. That sucks. What would they be having right now in Aries? Yeah, wrap it up.
No, it's Leo season.
I'm talking about if you were to conceive a child right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
You good with the maths.
That was a guesstimate. I don't know. But, yeah, shit. I would say my 15 seconds of fame is, my 15 seconds of fame is to take some time this week, look yourself in the mirror, and check one thing you want to change about yourself.
My crooked teeth.
I mean, that's real. Like, yo, listen, I want to fix my teeth. What do I need to do to fix my teeth? But, like, some people have some deeper set issues that they need like,
not to take a serious moment and yeah.
That's a fact though. Some people really need to, man, there's some people I'm noticing who like I've known for years. I'm just like, I don't know, like y'all glorify being losers. Like y'all are real life just not going anywhere.
That's why people don't like you.
Why? Because I say shit like that?
Yeah, because I mean you're not wrong, but like who are you to decide if a motherfucker's a loser?
Nobody, but it's just like, I don't know. Like, at what point in time do you just look and want more for yourself?
I feel it. I feel that.
And it's like,
some people are okay with that, bro.
And that's what I'm saying. Is like y'all glorify being losers. Like y'all will get online.
But why does that make them a loser?
Because you get online just to talk shit and get whatever clout from
like that.
The same group of friends that don't really fuck with you, but you're kind of funny online, but you have nothing going for you during the day. Like, to me, it's just like, bro, where are your priorities?
We not kids no more.
Yeah, like, where are your priorities? Like, we grown, like...
See, there's different type of people in this world, right? And...
Losers.
Losers and winners, that's it. End of the podcast, cut.
Well, actually, facts.
No, but this dude, Nate, at my old job, right? Nerdy white dude, right?
Okay.
He smart, great at his job, right? Mm-hmm. We used to talk about it, and I used to be like, bro, I don't understand how you guys can come to this job every day, sit here for 8 hours, look at the computer, do the same thing every day, work, go home, and that's it. You know what I mean? And for me...
Was this the marketing job?
This was the marketing job.
Okay, I was like, what teacher does that?
No, right. Whereas for me, it's like, I need something different every day. Like, I can't just sit at a desk, right? And he used to say, like, this, what's the word I'm looking for? The
task?
The thing that you do every day. This...
Routine,
like... Yeah. I need it. Like, it brings me peace. And I know, and granted, like, I'm sure by now.
But Nate's probably not a loser.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, there are some people that need routine and there's some people that need that controlled chaos.
everybody needs routine. Like everyone, yeah, I am convinced everybody, whether you acknowledge it or not, you need a routine. Like consistency. It's powerful having something be second nature. It's like I don't have to think about it. I know when I wake up, I'm gonna brush my teeth, I'm gonna wash my face, I'm gonna get dressed. Like that's just part of the daily routine. Now, what happens in between it, like you can have autonomy there, but it's like everybody needs a routine, unless you want to go against the grain, which most people don't attract success while doing that because they don't know what they want. I think if you don't know yourself and you don't know what you want out of life, you are destined to lose.
I wonder how many people know what they want out of life. Bro, that's a good question. How many of you guys know what you want out of life? And we're gonna make that a poll, and y'all gonna get at us.
And I guess there's no wrong answer.
Nah, it's just interesting. Maybe a lot of people don't know what they want out of life. But shit, we going off on another tangent. I gotta go sing my father.
My father figure.
Happy birthday. So again, guys, like, follow, share. We're back with a new season. We're back in a new place. Fuck with us, because if you ain't, you're going to miss out. And we got it. My 15 seconds of fame, I think Bob Marley said this. In the end, everything will be okay. If it's not okay, then it's not the end. And this is wrapping the best fucking podcast of CT, because I just made Spencer drop his jaw, and we about to say some things off camera because Mike's down.